Mogging, op, Rizzler, gyatt. Ohio? Chat, am I cooked? If the only thing you understood from that was Ohio, you probably didn't understand that either.
Tell me about Ohio.
It's no secret that, especially between generations, slang often becomes a point of division. It's the discomfort of feeling like a teen is speaking a different language.
Hi there, can I help you?
Yes, I'm finna get a PC got. Mine's high-key sus. It's literally slower than a boomer. If I get one more L, I'm gonna yeet it out a window, no cap.
Oh, yeet. I don't think we have any yeet.
It's the embarrassment of having zero clue what slang terms are in or faux pas. It's the horrifying moment of saying something with great confidence and the people around us looking at us like we're from Mars. On top of that, the rapid pace of social media trends can make slang feel impossible to keep up with, as words rise and fall in popularity in the space of months, weeks, or even days. Yet, it's not all negative. Slang can also bring people together and unify generations, helping them understand and confront their world. It can't all be brain rot, right?
Hey, what's up, man?
Dude, the freaking hurricane, did you see about that?
Enough with the brain rot, okay?
What?
Oh, what's this hurricane called? Skibidi cane?
In his essay, Slang in America, the American poet Walt Whitman calls slang the start of fancy, imagination, and humor, breathing into language's nostrils the breath of life. Whitman's breathless excitement about slang could feel misplaced when you remember, in our world, we're talking about words like skibidi and sigma. But maybe it's okay to suspend the quick, easy cynicism we might have about the next generations and their slang, and instead, with a twinge of optimism, ask why slang exists and why it becomes popular. It's no secret that modern slang is drenched in irony and deep fried with cultural references.
I'm trying to be healthy, so we're cooking deep fried ranch.
But just because it's hard to understand doesn't mean it's void of meaning. And while even teens would admit their slang has a built-in silliness, the perspective that words like mogging or simp or even skibidi lack any value is myopic. In her article for the Free Press, 16-year-old Mallory Vallis argues, while language takes decades to evolve significantly, its fast-living alter ego, slang, shows us how things really are. It has the power to critique and mock contemporary society for the benefit of those stuck in it. The clearest example of this ability to critique and mock may be the slang term brain rot. At Axis, we even argued brain rot was the most significant thing we covered in 2024. And we weren't alone. Oxford University called it their word of the year, much to the fury of my coworker Evan.
Yeah, brain rot is 2 words, not 1 word.
As a term, brain rot speaks to the propensity of many young people to overconsume trivial or brainless content online. They know the content is mindless, but they feel compelled to engage with it anyway. As slang, brain rot pulls a significant amount of weight. Not only does it provide language for Gen Z and Gen Alpha to identify a feeling of ennui or melancholy that's all too common, but it also serves as a way to self-regulate and critique their peers. Most teens will refocus if they get called out in the middle of their brain rot session. Not all slang works as hard as brain rot in helping people understand or critique the world they live in, but all slang does accomplish this in some capacity. A term like Rizz communicates how young people see attractiveness and, well, charisma. Glazing communicates how young people see and value authenticity. Not entirely sure what skibidi communicates, that we're afraid of surveillance states? Thanks, George Orwell. Still, the point remains, as the world continues to develop and change, language in the form of slang also continues to develop alongside it, providing a way the next generations can make sense of the world as well as make their mark on it. While slang is often lost to history, some words become an integral, permanent part of language. Walt Whitman explains it this way: it is certain that many of the oldest and solidest words we use were originally generated from the daring and license of slang. In the processes of word formation, myriads die, but here and there the attempt attracts superior meanings, becomes valuable and indispensable, and lives forever. Whitman goes on to say that this valuable and indispensable slang arises not from the elite of culture, but from the average person going about their day-to-day lives, and it gives them shared meanings and brings them together. The Bible actually has a lot to say about the way that language can bring us together and divide us. In Genesis 11, concerned about the pride and hubris of humanity, God confuses their language at the Tower of Babel, scattering them over the face of the earth. Later, after the death and resurrection of Jesus, we see a reversal of Babel on the day of Pentecost in Acts 2, as the Holy Spirit rushes into the apostles and reverses the confusion between their different languages. While it might be a stretch to connect Pentecost to modern slang, it does speak to how understanding each other brings us together. When toddlers begin to speak, it marks them as a growing and developing member of society. In the same way, when teens begin to create language unique and colloquial to their generation, they begin to share a sense of identity with one another. Slang not only serves as a unique and fresh way to communicate cultural ideas, but it also marks someone as belonging to a specific generation. Mallory Vallis concludes her article on slang by arguing that slang is an organic way of speaking that reflects the lived experience of a group, and it can be just as important as high-level words for conserving both individuality and community. So the next time you hear a word you don't quite recognize or understand, remember that while it can feel alienating, it's also an important aspect of the development of the next generations. It's a part of how these generations unite together, make sense of the world, and leave their mark on it. Language is powerful, whether it's fancy, highbrow, and academic, or brain-rotted, unrefined, and silly. Shared language is an important part of any conversation, and at Axis, we care deeply about parents and caring adults engaging in meaningful conversations with the next generation. If you're wanting to learn more about teen slang, you can check out our free parents guide to teen slang on our website, axis.org. With conversation in mind, here are a couple questions about slang you can ask the teens in your life. What's your favorite piece of slang right now? Do you think slang brings your generation together? At Axis, we rely on donor support to continue to make free resources. If you'd like to give a gift of support or check out more of those resources, you can go to axis.org.